Hello, everyone, and I hope you all are still practicing your SQL questions that we do here. And also, I've told you to practice SQL from other platforms like Lead Code, HackerRank, and everywhere. So you can also practice SQL by typing that top 10 SQL queries asked in interview or top 10 SQL queries. So that gives you a lot of good kind of queries with a lot of brainstorming. So maybe in mostly queries, you'll think that, oh, this is the right answer, or what this is what should be the answer. But in reality, what happens is that when you are in an interview or you want to give that answer to someone who knows SQL very well, he or she will always tell you to again, you know, customize it to their needs. And by that, they means that maybe the time complexity should not be this much. Like when you're solving DSA, there's always one or two way to solve a problem. So you give the solution that has the best time complexity, right? So when you give the solution that has the best time complexity, then there's a chance for you to get accepted. So the same goes applies for SQL, that because you have such a big database and you have to take something out from that database, and writing a simple query that is doing a lot of processing will take a lot of time. So we need to see that which functions should be used that it takes less time. Okay, so we need to prepare like this. So always when you are practicing SQL, keep in mind that whether this can be solved. Like suppose how to how to figure out the second maximum salary in an office. Now this question has three, four solutions, but only one is the best, and that is always accepted. So go find it out that which one is the best and which one is always accepted. And today we'll start with some previous year questions, and we we have covered all those topics, but I'll still try to revise them as we continue. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so here we have the in an SQL question. I would say that you have to be very careful that you also have your database over there as a database schema, then you have your query and everything. Okay, so you need to see all this. Now, username and password. This is our first question. Okay, write a query to display the username and password of all customers. Give an alias name as username and password. First of all, you have to understand that what your question is trying to say. Okay, so really need to understand what your question is trying to say. Secondly, do not just see the database and get scared, because database can be very big, complex, confusing. So you don't have to learn the database while seeing the question. You see the question, you see what you need, what you require, and then you find that out in the database with your eyes. You see that in which database it lies. Do not try to memorize the database before reading the question. Do not ever try to memorize the database even after reading the question. First, read the question, then see that what exactly your question is asking you. Whether it is what if it is asking, suppose Aadhaar card number, in which table is it located? What is database? What is a database schema? It has many different tables that are connected with a foreign key, right? So you have to see that which thing lies in which table, and then you have to use joins to, join those tables and get the required get the required answer. And like this, you write your query. So what I was telling is that you do not need to remember the whole database, right? So we'll see that what is the question, and then we'll go to the database. So minimize. Okay. Write a query to display the username password of all customers. What you want is username and password of all customers. ठीक है. So where is username? Let's see. I don't know why my scroller is not working. Okay. So where is username? Oh, we have to display the username and password, but we will not find the username and password in our database. We have to create it, right? So give an alias name as username and password. Sort the result based on the username in ascending order. Username and password is generated as below. So how username and password will be generated? Username will be concatenated with the username, with the customer name and customer ID. So now you don't have to find username because username is not present there. What is present there? Customer name and customer ID, right? So if customer name and customer ID is present over there, we just need to find customer name and customer ID, and then we'll use the concat function. So yeah, there are 6 or 7 strings function in SQL that we can use to play with the strings, to play with the varchar data type, and concat is one of them. And it is like I'm seeing that in this, like in recent times, I have seen concat function a lot. So it's better to keep up with that. Okay. So here in customer data, of course, we'll not find it in pizza or delivery partner data, find it in customer data. Use your brain. Customer data, we have customer name, and then what was required? Customer ID. So we have both the things here, and now we just have to concat. Okay. And how do we generate the password? Concat first 3 characters of customer name. Okay. With last 4 digit of customer phone. Okay. So customer phone last 4 digit and first 3 character of customer name. Okay, we don't have to use joins here because see, how do I know that we don't have to use joins or this is not that complex? Is because all the data we require, even though we have to concat it and then get it, all the data that we require is coming from the same table. Do you understand? And when it is coming from the same table, I do not require it. It does not make sense to use joins to concatenate 2 or more tables, right? Okay. So I hope this whole is clear. So see, this is not even that complex, but trust me, in exams where you have SQL, it will be a very complex table. Okay, sometimes. Like sometimes you can have this also, but sometimes mostly you'll get that. So here we have these 3 tables out of which customer is important, right? Now what I'll do is what I'll write. Mm, fine, I'll write online SQL compiler. I generally use one compiler. Yes, here it is, one compiler. Now, see, basically what happens with one compiler is that you get everything, SQL, Java, whatever you want. Okay, so here a database is created with one table, that is create table employee ID, and then we have insert into values. We have some values in this table, and that's how we run it. Yeah, that's how we run it. So that's how your table looks. You can insert more rows in it. 0, 0. Suppose if 5, no one is stopping you, then you can do this also. Tanisha. Then you'll do this. PM. Okay. This is not needed. Let's see. Error because we need to have it here. Are we running? Oh my God, we are running this query, right? If I remove this, see, there you have your database and everything. So yeah, select star from employees from a table name will give you the whole table. So whenever you create a table, it's always better for you to check that how your table is actually looking, if everything is in their right position. What if what if I would have written this over here that PM comes here and Tanisha comes over here. So this can be a mistake made by anyone. Here only we have three columns, but what if we have eight columns, nine columns, and this mistake can be very often. So you have to check that is your data correct? Okay, fine. So we don't have this database in use. So whatever I'll be teaching, you just have to write, you just have to see here because we don't have a database created for the current question. Okay. Okay. I hope it is clear. So whatever, let's just type on that. So whatever I'll type the query, it will be correct, but it won't show any output here because we don't have any database, right? It's just that I'm using it as a notepad and to show you that how SQL environment looks. Okay. So our question was to give username and password as an alias. Now, what are aliases? Suppose aliases is when you want to change the name of something and show it. Suppose here department was written as DEPT, but if you want to show it that department is equals to sale to your customer, suppose this is your output department, and then you have to, this is what the customer wants or your client wants. You can't show him DEPT. What you'll do is you'll write here as department. But do you think it's really necessary to make depth into department and then only you can show it? No. What you'll do is you'll write D in the background, you'll write DPT as, now this as you can see, this is in bold. It means that it is already known to the compiler. It is not a made up word, it is already known. As an alias. As department. So that what alias does. And now what this will print is, this will print department. So without changing the name in your database, without changing the name of the column in your database, you can change the name in the output. That is data. That is an alias. Department sales. Right. Okay. So now I'll write my query that is select, and I've already wrote that we are going to use concatenate. So two important concepts here is concatenate substring. Substring is a function that you have used in your programming language. Concatenate substring, and what else we'll use? Of course, alias. So I'll concatenate. Select concat select concat customer name, and then I'll have customer ID too. So we'll add customer ID. Now we'll concatenate this, and whatever will come, we'll show it as the username. So we have to write the alias too as username. So it will come as this. Or maybe let's put it in capital, right? As username. Then again, we have to concat and also use the substring, right? Substring, this is a function. Customer name, you have to substring what string you are working on, and then from where to where you need it. So first three, right? Comma, substring. So we are concatenating two strings that are already from a string, part of a string. So concat is at the farthermost end, and then we have one substring. This will be your one thing that will be concatenated. This will be your one thing that will be concatenated. And now from here, your another string will be concatenated. Substring, customer phone, comma, -4, -4, right? What you'll do it as, you'll do it as concatenated as password. So you do get it, what we're doing here, right? Concatenate as password. From customer, that is your table name. Now there was also one condition that you have to order it through the username. So order by basically means that it will sort it in ascending or descending. Of course, if you're not using DESC, if you're not mentioning descending, then it will automatically sort it in ascending order. Order by user name, right? So this will be your this will be your query, which should work. In some environment it will not work. Some environment uses different terminologies. You have to see it. Okay. Okay. So yep. Now this is how it should have looked. 8767. Now how did I get to this part? What I could have also done is 4 digits, and you live in India, so that is 10. I could have written 6 to 10. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Or 7 to 10. 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. But I wrote -4 to 4. That means -4 means it will take from here. It will start from the background. Okay. Total sale day wise. Write a query to display order date, total order amount in each day. Give an alias. So what it is saying to display, see, I'm not going to the schema. I'm first reading the query. Write a query to display order date, total order amount in each day. That means you have to use an aggregate function, and what that will be sum. You have to use sum here. Sum is an aggregate function. Give an alias name for total order amount as total sale. Sort the result based on order date. So we also have to use order by here. Order by order date. Okay. Maintain the same sequence of column order. Okay. So what we want is order amount of the day and total. So we can see here that everything is there in the orders. We again don't have to use any joins, right? What we want is order date. We want order amount is also here. And then we want, I think, order date, total. Yeah, this is okay. So let's just see that how this one is going to look. Select order date. Fine, we'll select. Then we'll use the aggregate function, that is sum. On what? On order amount, right? What was there? I think it was total sale. As total sale, we'll write. So we have the sum, we have the sale, and now we just need that from which table, that is from orders table. Then you'll group it by, because you're using sum, so you need to tell that what you have to group the whole thing to give the sum. Okay, so group by order date. Okay, so what group by here does is you are writing some order amount, but order amount, see, today I have 5 orders, suppose of 50 rupees. Yesterday I have order of 60 rupees. This is, I'm telling you the sum. Okay, so do you think that what we are asking is 50 plus 60? No, what we are asking is 50, then 60, then 70, then 80, right? But if you are writing some order amount, that will sum all the order amounts and not just by group. So what you want is some order amount, and then you have to group it through order date. That, okay, on 5th, I have 3 orders, so only 3 orders will have a sum together and will be displayed. Not all the orders will be in this sum because it is of date 3. Then we have date 4 order. Okay? Like 4, what is going on? August. 4 August. So 4 August order. So 4 August, we have 2 orders. So only those 2 orders amount sum should be displayed, not all the orders, right? So that's why we use group by. It's very important to know all these things. It's very important to have this clarity in your mind that what does group by does. Fine? Why it is needed. Okay. Now, next question will be here. Student and their department based on study. Write a query to display list of student name and their department name who are all from Coimbatore. Sort the result based on student name. So you want a list of student name and the department. Student department ID, but we don't have department name, so we have to join student and department. Okay. Okay, only this much. So, but you have to use joins here, so that's very important. So you have to join these two tables if it is big enough. Student and department, you have to use these two tables. And now the primary key here is student ID and department ID is the foreign key. And make sure that department ID here in department table is primary key, right? That's how one becomes a foreign key. When you are a primary key in another table, and then when the same key is present in another table, see, the primary key of one table is the foreign key in another table. So this department ID will match, will be used to join department and student, right? So we'll write here, we'll write select S dot student. Now what is S? You'll get to know. S is the short form for student table. And how the SQL will know that S is the short form, I'll tell you. D dot department name. D dot department name. So now I'll tell you from student, right? Now how the SQL will know that here student name is from student table. How SQL will know? Because I've written S. Now how SQL will know that student table is being referred as S, as short form is S. I'll write S over here. So now SQL will know that S stands for student. As simple as that. What I'll use inner join. You know there are types of join. I have already made a video on this. Please go watch it. Department D. Fine. So because here, see, I can write here completely department, but and I can remove D from here, but it is too much labor. So instead of writing whole department here, I'll write D here. And then I'll just mention that D stands for department. Simply like this. Inner join D. Now joins happens on a condition. That will be on. On what condition you're joining two tables? On. On is the keyword here. On S dot department ID. That is the foreign key in student table. Should be equals to D dot department ID, and this department ID in D table or in department table is the primary key. Here, department ID in student table is the foreign key. That's how you join two tables. Okay. Now, what is the condition that which rows you want is where s dot city, like student city, should be equal to, I think it was Coimbatore, whatever it was. Okay, just see. Coimbatore. Now, order by, we again have to sort it as dot student name. So if student name, like see, there will be five, six, suppose there are five, six students who lives in the city Coimbatore. Let's make it Ahmedabad. Or let's make it Hyderabad. Simple. Okay. So there will be four, five students who are from Hyderabad. But in which order they'll be shown, like randomly, or the way their database is entered. But if I want that, I want them in ascending order. Suppose Ayushi, then Ayushi, Mansi, Sanskriti, Tanisha, like this. See? So A, M, S, T. So I'll use order by S dot student. What if I wanted Tanisha, Sanskriti, Mansi, Ayushi? I would write here D, E, S, C, right? So it will give it in descending order. That's not what the question is asking. So this is your simple answer. I hope I was very much clear in these three videos. Even if someone was not aware about joints or anything, they must have gotten a hint that what it actually does and how it actually does, right? Okay. So I would say that practice these questions, practice the concept, practice what is group by, try to imagine it, practice how joints work, try to imagine it, how those two lines will match, how department ID as a foreign key and primary ID will help you. Okay. So yeah, I'll stop my screen sharing. Don't tell me I wasn't recording. I was recording.